Usually in my videos, I prepare a script, but for this one, I wanted to speak from the heart. So I would hope that you would watch till the very end for the idea worth sharing of sorts. In this video, I want to talk about the power of regret. We all have experienced having regrets at one point or another, and fortunately with most things in life, just the simple mechanism of rationalization or turning a negative to a positive suffices for many of us when it comes to getting over regret. I look back on my own life and I look at the multitude of mistakes that I've made in my career, in my personal life, etc., etc. And for the most part, I'm able to rationalize them and spin them into positive learning opportunities just based on the principle that, if you don't make mistakes and you don't learn, then how would you ever grow? And I understand that, and I live by that principle. It makes a lot of sense to me, and I know it makes a lot of sense to a lot of you guys out there as well. But I think back to one mistake in my life that no matter how hard I try, I am still not able to fully come to terms with it. There's still something about that mistake that gets to me, and when I tell you what it is, it'll hopefully make sense. Growing up, my parents worked a lot. They were a really hardworking immigrant family. So I spent a lot of time with my grandmother on my dad's side, Grandma Tran. She would tell me stories. We would do arts and crafts. I would just hang out with her and I would learn all about, my ancestral roots, where I came from through her, through the stories that she told. And she was in so many ways my first best friend. As I got older, so did she. I just naturally started seeing her less and less, and part of that is just a matter of life. Although we always lived in the same city, I never left. And in the last chapter of her life, she was in a wheelchair in a nursing home, just a 30-minute drive from where I lived, running a marketing agency, living my millennial ambitions, all of that. I had many opportunities to see her in her last chapter of her life, specifically in her last year. But I just didn't make it a priority. I kept telling myself that I would see her next time. Something about next time was such a bargaining chip for me, or it just was so appealing to me. The fact that I could have my cake and eat it too, the fact that I could prioritize my own fears, my own greed ahead of the things that I truly valued. And the thing about next time is that it doesn't allow you to delineate between your fears, your greed, and the things that you really value. It all just seems like one big list of things to do that you have to do. And that if you get through your list, you would eventually get to the point where you could have done everything without sacrificing anything. And I bought into it, and I bought into it so much and for so long that before I knew it, next time had turned into the last time, and before I knew it, I was desperately bargaining with the last time to make it last forever. I remember when I got the call from my dad that my grandmother was dying in the hospital. It was a Sunday night and I was in my office working on who knows what. And when I got that call from him, it was as if everything had come to a standstill. And in a split second, the illusion that I had been buying into had shattered. And finally, I could see things. There was like a moment of clarity. And in that moment of clarity, I rushed myself to the hospital. And I was able to see my grandmother before she passed away. And I was able to tell her how much I loved her and what she meant to me. And I'm really grateful that I was able to do that and that I had that opportunity. It was just the fact that in the last year of her life, she was in the nursing home, probably just wondering about all of her kids and her grandchildren, that I was somewhere off, completely lost in my own whatever, just not in touch with reality at all. I was completely focused on the things that don't even matter to me today. And this mistake really gets to me because no matter how hard I try, no matter how much wisdom I try to extract from that the learning opportunity presented by that mistake, I can't see my grandmother ever again. She's gone. It's hard even drumming up memories of what exactly I thought was so much more important than the things and the people in my life that mattered most. But I would tend to believe that this experience that I had is a very human experience, especially as humans living in today's world. I think we're all after happiness in the end, but we make it so complicated. And we tell ourselves that our livelihood is contingent on so many things. I could have shown you like my extensive plan for the year that happened 3 years ago. My regret is that I didn't have the clarity of mind then that I try to cultivate now via a daily meditation practice. This is why I meditate. I meditate to familiarize myself in the present moment, to detach from what my mind tends to automatically do, to get me invested in my fears or in my greed. Our mind is just by default so busy, looking for things to think about, looking for things to do. And sometimes if gone unchecked, it can really alienate us from what our intuition is telling us is important. The truth of the matter is that everything we need, we already have in this moment, right now. Or at least when it comes to the peace that we seek, we have it in this moment right now. And so meditation every single day, twice a day, however long it takes you to familiarize yourself with the present moment and to find solace and peace in the present moment. That in turn will make you less reactive in your life, less reactive in your relationship, which in turn can make you, at least for myself anyways, a better friend, a better daughter, a better citizen of my community. That experience I had of not showing up for my grandmother, especially as she was dying, I never want to repeat that ever again with anybody else in my life. I want them to know, if you're in my life, that I love you and I care for you, and that I want to do my best to be there for you. Meditation has become so mainstream now in our society, and it's no longer seen as a thing of the niches. And people meditate for various different reasons, but the biggest reason for me to do it, to incorporate it into my life every single day, is in hopes that I can minimize the power that future regrets might have over me, because I've done the best that I could, or at least made an effort every single day to be present and not reactive. That's why I meditate every single day.